Hey everybody, Adam Davidson, RadCast for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. Hello, welcome to RadCast. If you've never seen this before, this is a Monday through Friday devotional that shows up on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can like it, you can share it, you can comment on it, and we have this little community of a few folks who just make this part of their day. It's part of my day because it keeps me accountable. This is the kind of thing that keeps me focused on my morning routine. This is very important and helpful for me, and the fact that you watch it and that maybe it's helpful to you is encouraging, and I pray that it glorifies God and just puts Scripture and the ways of following Jesus out into the world. That's the idea. So we're going to be in Psalms this morning, specifically Psalm 25. Listen to these words. Turn to me and be gracious to me. And by the way, this is a prayer that we have to the Lord. Turn to me and be gracious to me, for I am lonely and afflicted. Relieve the troubles of my heart and free me from my anguish. Look on my affliction and my distress, and take away all my sins. See how numerous are my enemies, and how fiercely they hate me. Guard my life and rescue me. Do not let me be put to shame, for I take refuge in you. May integrity and uprightness protect me, because my hope, Lord, is in you. And that's the word of the Lord. I don't know why, but that one really grabbed a hold of me. Now, I don't feel particularly lonely, and certainly not more afflicted than usual. All of us deal with some affliction or oppression from the world, the flesh, the devil. Sometimes it's from the Lord himself disciplining us. We know that. I talked about it Sunday at Central Wesleyan, as a matter of fact. That was a good time. But the psalmist is saying, I'm really uncomfortable with the way things are going right now. And I thought, there's a few things in my life that I'm uncomfortable with that I wish God would fix, and that in my prayer journal this morning, I certainly have asked him to do that, even as I did yesterday and the day before, and as it comes to mind. And there's always stuff to deal with in life. This is just part of life. Sometimes, though, I was thinking that the afflictions that I felt, it wasn't that God wasn't fixing it. It was that God wasn't making something new happen. And if you've ever been in that spot where you're asking God to open a new door or prepare a way, or you feel this tug in your heart to do something, and you're like, well, God could make that happen, and I think he might. Sometimes God doesn't say yes. And so I was reading through this book of the old-timey saints, quotable saints, and I love this collection of ancient wisdom from the church fathers. Certainly not at the same level of Scripture, but definitely helpful because these guys have both been there and done that. This is kind of a lengthy quote from St. Isaac of Syria, but see if this resonates with you today. All right, tune in with me, lock in, stop scrolling, just listen for just a second. St. Isaac writes, sometimes a man or a woman, right? Sometimes a person desires something good, but God does not help him. This happens because at times a similar desire comes from the devil and is harmful instead of useful, or because what we wish is beyond our power, since we have not yet achieved a comfortable life, or because it is alien to the form of endeavor we have accepted, or because the time has not yet come when it can be fulfilled or begin to be fulfilled, or because we have neither knowledge nor physical strength sufficient for it, or because the present circumstances are not propitious. That's a good one, propitious. That's a big word. Yet the devil uses all his wiles to offer this activity in a favorable light, to incite us to it, and thus disturb our peace of soul or cause harm to the body. So we must carefully examine even our good desires. It is best to act in all things with advice. I thought that was really good. There are a lot of reasons that God may not be saying yes, and that lack of a yes, while it may cause you suffering, the reality is if he were to give you a yes that you're not ready for, that would cause way more suffering, not only for you, but for the people around you. Aren't you so glad that God does not give a yes to every single one of our prayers? Because some of our prayers are absolutely harebrained, bizarre, self-destructive, and defeating. God doesn't always say yes. He always knows what he's doing, but he doesn't always say yes. This is the essence of God, our good, good Father. Now, that being held in our minds, that doesn't mean that we don't ask for things. Jesus said, ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door shall be opened. It says in James that we should ask with faith, believing that God will answer, and that we should certainly come to God as one who loves us, not this benevolent being that is out to destroy his creatures. However, we need to be ready because God may not say yes, and it might be just the right answer. It could be that God's no is the thing that we need to hear today. Just something I've been thinking about. See you tomorrow. That's RadCast.